Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. I'm so excited. This is my third solo episode for you guys this week. Unfortunately, we did not have a guest this past Wednesday, but we will next week. I'm super excited about the guest, by the way. You will have a guest next week, but I did 3 episodes solo this week just because I didn't have time to interview anyone. So this is a quick episode about how I supported my immune system while traveling. So I took my first flight in almost a year to Arizona. And you know what's interesting? About a year ago, it's coming up on the anniversary of my TEDx talk, which I think was February 13th. Yes, it was February 13th, 2020, and it was right before shit hit the fan, excuse my French, but I'll never forget it. I flew out to Wisconsin to give my TEDx talk, and I was sitting in the lobby of the hotel, and I was watching people. It's really scary. I still get chills, thinking about it, but I was watching the news of people in China literally getting thrown out of their homes. It was so upsetting. So people in hazmat suits going into their homes, ripping them out. Oh God, it makes my heart, really, really break. And it was then that I realized oh no, something is about to happen. Things are about to get a little bit serious. Because even though it was in China, I don't know, something about me is just something was going on. So anyways, that was the last trip that I took. Obviously, you know the story this year. You lived in it. We all did in this pandemic. So, going back onto a plane, which to be honest, I've always been a person to intentionally do things to kind of get my immune system strong before traveling, because I just found that I always would get a little bit sick, either when I had arrived at the city that I was traveling to after being on a plane, or when I had arrived home. So I think traveling in general can be quite stressful, so that makes sense, right? So when we're stressed out, it decreases our immune system, but also just the way that the air circulates. I flew Delta, by the way, if you're curious. I feel like Delta took all the necessary precautions. They changed their air filtration system. We wore masks. We had to wear masks unless you had to eat or drink something. So anyways, I've always been someone to wear masks and wash my hands excessively. So especially since everything that's been going on. So first line of defense. So basically I wanted to come on here quickly just to talk about what I did to support my immune system, how I've been, what I've been doing to support my immune system year round, but particularly when I traveled, the things that I did a little bit differently. Okay. So first things first, please wear your mask. This is not a public service announcement. This is not me, advocating. This is not political whatsoever. It's kind of sad that science turns political, but so does religion. And okay, not going on a tangent here, but point is, please wear your mask. Please wear your mask. Okay. So I wear my mask whenever I'm around people. When I go for my walks outside and there's no one around, I actually don't wear a mask. Outdoors, but indoors, I always wear my mask. So that's the first line of defense. Second line of defense is hand washing. Almost any opportunity I get to wash my hands or use hand sanitizer. But let me tell you guys, hand sanitizer is effective, but not as effective as hand washing. So whenever I get a chance to wash my hands, I do. So before I get on the plane, I wash my hands. When I go, if I use the bathroom in the plane, I wash my hands. When I get off of the plane, I wash my hands. When we got to the Airbnb, I wash my hands. It's the first thing that I do right now. Currently, when I come into my apartment, it's the first thing I do is I wash my hands. So really, listen, your hands might be super dry, but get lotion and make it work for you, okay? That is literally your first line of defense. because bacteria get spread on surfaces and anything that you touch. I'm also someone who always touches my hair. I touch my face. I know it's so bad for my skin, but it's like a nervous habit. It's what I do. I twirl my hair. I know myself. So I'm very vigilant about hand washing. Okay. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is obviously self-care, taking care of you. So I've always been somebody to prioritize my sleep. And also to, eat a balanced diet. So there are specific nutrients, and when you get them through food, that are going to support your immune system. So keeping a healthy gut, having foods rich in probiotics are going to be super helpful. So on my trip, I drank a lot of kombucha. Not a lot, meaning I had a serving every day. So the second that we got there, I went to Trader Joe's. We stayed in an Airbnb, so I filled my fridge up had to have a kombucha a day. So that was intentional. Before I left, I purposely bought myself some kombucha. So I usually would drink kombucha occasionally, but I was super intentional about having it every single day. So you see the difference in just in general, supporting your immune system. I'll wash my hands. I'll drink things that have I'll eat and foods and drink things that have probiotics. I'll focus on my stress management and my sleep and all that stuff. But when I travel, I'm super, all those things that I do it a little bit extra. Okay. So hydration, also super important when you fly. So lots of water. And then the other things to support your immune system are obviously going to be sleep. I was moving my body, but I wasn't going crazy intense, high intensity workouts. So exercise can help increase your immune system, but too high intensity workouts when your body's already stressed and tired could actually onset some sickness or some illness. Okay. So I made sure to move my body, get some sunlight. Vitamin D supports the immune system, get some sunlight. And that was super helpful there. Now, in regards to supplements, that's really what I wanted to talk about today. So the things that are going to help support your immune system are things like vitamin C and zinc. They're super helpful in the acute phases. So when you kind of feel like something's coming on, like an onset of something, those are things that you want to take. And you can do it preventatively. It's not going to hurt you if you take vitamin C every day. It's water soluble. But you don't want to take zinc every single day forever because it will actually affect your copper stores. So there's always a balance to these things. And so 500 milligrams of vitamin C when you kind of feel like something's coming on, or even 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C is going to be okay. You can have toxicity with any supplement, so you actually don't want to go crazy. But that's just a general thing. So anyways, I'm saying that to say that in the past, I may have taken something like Airborne, and which is fine. You can still take that. But I found some other stuff that I actually really like. So Noom, I don't know if you've ever heard of Noom, not Noom, not like the weight management plan, but Noom, N-U-U-N, is a hydration tablet. And I really encourage them for someone who might be, who's trains a lot and maybe doesn't get in enough, or maybe they overhydrate and they don't get in enough electrolytes. I recommend the Noom tablets for hydration. So all that to say that Noom has an immunity support tablet as well. So it has all your electrolytes for hydration, but it also adds in some vitamin C and zinc to support your immune system. Okay, so that's that one that I used while I was on my trip, but you could also just use something like Airborne if you wanted to as well. The other supplement that I often take when I feel like something's coming on that I didn't, also I wanted to say to you guys, I wasn't feeling like I was sick or that something was coming on. In this situation, I was being proactive, but say every now and again, during this year, if I felt something, that's when I would take these supplements. So I don't take them every day. I just take them either when I travel, fly, or when I feel like something's coming on, okay? So the thing that I take very often is called Quick Defense by Gaia. And it's a combination of echinacea and elderberry. And it's just really great for supporting your immune system when you feel like you're about to get sick. So the recommendation is 2 capsules, and you're supposed to take, I think, let me read it. Suggested use. Adults take 2 capsules 5 times daily for 2 days at onset. Repeat if necessary. I often will just take 2 capsules a day. not 10 a day. So it's really like, but like if you really aren't feeling well, that's why it really is more for like onset. But I just kind of just take it just, for preventative care. All that to say, if I wasn't washing my hands, prioritizing my sleep and managing my stress, none of this stuff would work. Okay. But I know that you're probably interested and you want to hear. So that's basically what I did. Okay. So, take care of yourself. Eat your veggies, eat some fruit, eat protein, drink lots of water, have variety in your diet. But and all that to say, also manage your stress. And if you want a little extra help, then taking and this is not sponsored, by the way, Gaia Herbs Quick Defense Supplement says immune support on it, or the Noon tablets, or something like Airborne, the tablets or the packets would be just fine. So the Noon, let me just say this, the Noon hydration tablets, they dissolve in your water. So for some people that don't like to swallow pills, that would be a recommendation. The Gaia Quick Defense is a pill form, so you do have to swallow it. But if you also wanted to just take some elderberry syrup, that's a liquid, that would be beneficial too. And then you could have like echinacea tea. So you can make like your own combination in a different kind of way. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to message me on Instagram at tips_with_Tony with an I, or the Tips with Tony podcast, or you can email me tipswithtony@gmail.com. If you like this episode, definitely screenshot it, share it on your story, and tag me. All right, guys. If you didn't already subscribe to the Tips with Tony podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button. It will notify you when a new episode comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.